Greetings, yogis on the path. This is Derek with Denver Yoga Underground. Uh, Today's share is based on personal recent events, personal history. I recently uh, broke my leg, a tibial plateau fracture at the top of the tibia there in a number of places. And so I've had the opportunity to hold up a number of essential yoga teachings to help me navigate the circumstance, the pain, the kind of self reckoning, as well as apply specific skills and methodologies to get through what has been, certainly on a physical level, one of the most challenging circumstances I've ever faced. And the hope is that maybe this will be of some benefit or value to you as well. So, operative title might sound something like Navigating Loss. Navigating Loss. Let's begin by kind of debunking this idea that yoga is principally about love and light. Those are certainly really important ways of orientation, but that's not all that that it accounts for, right? It also accounts for um, uh, pain and misery and suffering, right? Like those are duly noted for and accounted for in various yogic systems. Said concisely, yoga is as much about understanding your shadow as it is about understanding your light. And shadow manifests and gets our attention in a variety of ways, and including things like broken legs. So the a few reflections on the broadest spectrum or broadest scale. The operative pattern of the creation is imbued with the forces of creation, things coming into existence like springtime, things hanging around for a bit so the leaves stay on the trees, and then come autumn, we all know what happens. Depends on your climate, I suppose, but you get the gist. The leaves pass, so they fall away, right? So, at any scale of the creation, the evolution of a cell, or the birth of a universe, or the movement of the hydration cycle, you see some form of this creation, preservation, destruction. Of course, this is the holy trinity of the yoga process, Brahma Vishnu, rendered as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So that is the kind of playing field that we're born into initially. In other words, it's completely natural for there to be things like loss. I'm not the first person to break their leg on this planet, right? It happens elsewhere, and far more seemingly tragic things have happened as well. And it's part of a larger dance. It's part of a larger cycle. There's the great image of Shiva Nataraj, who's doing his wild dance of invoking and dissolving the creation. So, I mean, just on a real fundamental level, just making peace with that alone has been not gratifying, but consoling. It's provided some direction. It's like, yes, that's part of the contract when we came here. The other, um, another way that this gets rendered, another kind of deeper teaching. If you look at the great epics or the great myths in yoga tradition, Mahabharata, Puranas, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata, um, or myths from other traditions, there's this generational element in how they describe the kind of unfolding of circumstances and events that goes back like maybe 4 generations to people's grandparents. and then it goes through, grows, and it counts for all the karma of all the characters and this dynamic, deep unfolding of of happenstance, like how things come to be, right? And it attempts to account for all the various layers and key players and moments, and I could have gone left, but I went right, and weaving this kind of majestic tapestry that's so vast, that's universally big, that it's, like bigger than the human mind, but nonetheless says that there are forces and characters and histories and karmas that we have no understanding about, that are present here, right? All we're getting is the current view that's about this big, when the whole, bigger backdrop is much larger. So that is sort of a fascinating question to like, where did this come from? Did it come from just the incident of falling and that, or what were all the steps that led up to it? And I suppose you could drive yourself a little nuts with that, but under just getting curious about the kind of karmic rhythms of this place, or at least that's been my mental fantasy. I've had a long time to be on the couch here, or to be stationary, and but holding space for that, I think could be, give perspective for folks. Um, the part where it gets painful, the part where it really hurts, is when I personalize the drama and take it on as me or mine or I. And Baba Haridas said it concisely. He said the ego feels itself the most in negative emotion, right? So there's what happened, and then there's what we make it mean, and there can be all kinds of embellishment and things that have us spiral or spin or suffer. And I've certainly been in those places as well as part of this great unfolding. Um, but nonetheless, to have a bit of buffer around the ego feeling itself more in negative motion, and not to feed or water or indulge in that overly. It'll come, but it'll also go. Um, a funny comic that someone sent me. There's this image of these two yogis, and one of them's seated on a bed of nails, and they're surrounded by rocks and cactus, and one of them's kind of standing over the other dude, kind of looking at him like, "What are you up to here?" It's a very kind of harsh environment that they're in, and the guy that's sitting on the bed of nails says, "It only hurts when I exist. It only hurts when I exist, right?" And and it gave me great. It gave me a deep smile to look at that, right? Like, how do we come to terms with our own existence, right? It's a monumental thing. And there's one other faculty or power in the mind that we're blessed with, gifted in, that we cultivate in yoga, called buddhi, which is your powers of intellect or discernment. It's how we frame a situation, how we interpret it, what we make it mean. And this could mean a dead end and just looking at nothing but obstacles, or it could be like a chance for a deep reset. Let me think about how I'm doing a lot of things in my life, which has been the space I've been in. So this power of intellect and discernment and insight is something that can be cultivated, which kind of brings me to techniques. One of my teachers said you should be able to do yoga in a hospital bed. I kind of appreciated that standard, and that's been the MO for a while now. And I just briefly, with breath regulation is a reliable standby. I have these yoga props that like this block here that can be propped up, just so as I lay back and do Nadi Shodhan, like a lot of Nadi Shodhan, to like come back. Whatever your chosen object of meditation, prayer, reflection, japa is like, it's think of it like a retreat. You're going on a little bit of a retreat in the living room. that's another invaluable skill. And whatever asana you can lean into, you know, it might be rather limited, but I've noticed that it's been exponentially more kind of potent when I meet the body in a moment of need with conscious movement to whatever extent I can. It's humbling. It's humbling. It's humbling to redo. And I thought I would end all this with a quote from Baba Haridas, who summarizes beautifully. It says that this is life. It includes pleasure, pain, good, bad, happiness, depression, etc. There can't be a day without a night. So don't expect that you or anyone will always be happy and that nothing will go wrong. Stand in the world bravely and face good and bad equally. Life is for that. Try to develop positive qualities as much as you can. All right. Peace, my friends. Until next time, thank you, all my listening, liking, subscribing friends. Hari Om Tat Sat.